Hey guys, it's Jose and I'm back for another video. This video was meant to be like a Q&A. I guess it still is a Q&A because I am going to be answering a question, but it's only going to be focused on one question. Don't worry, I still plan to do Q&A videos in the future, so keep sending your questions in. So this question is by @finestjohn97. How did you come out to your parents? And advice on how to talk to parents. Hashtag Pride Month, hashtag JQ. So if you guys are wondering, what is JQ? What is that? So I actually did a video previously, and I let you guys know that I plan to do Q&A videos, and for you to send in questions, you can comment them down below and then also tweet them at me using the hashtag JQ, which stands for Jose Answers Your Questions. And when I read this question, I was like, "Ooh, I've never shared that with you guys, and I want to." And I was like, what better time to do it than during Pride Month? And then I remembered, I actually came out to my family during Pride Month, and I don't remember the exact date, like the number. I wish I did remember, but I knew it was the first week of June, and that is what actually gave me the motivation when I saw so many people posting about Pride Month. I know that if it hasn't happened, it's maybe today or it's like maybe tomorrow, but like it's my anniversary of actually coming out to my family. So I was like, you know what, let me do it now. Why not? So before I get to like when I actually did and how I did it, I want to talk about like what led me to it and like what my life was prior to it. So basically, I mean, ever since I can remember, I knew, like, as a little boy, I knew I was different. I didn't know what it was. Nobody ever, like, when I first actually, like, felt a difference between the other boys, I didn't know what to name it. I didn't know what the word gay was. I didn't know what homosexuality was. I was just living my life. But I just knew I was different. I think one of the moments that like really like I know it was in 5th grade because I still remember it. It was Valentine's Day, and we had our little bags in our desks where, you know, everybody would get up and distribute their Valentine's cards. I remember going to the store the day prior with my mom and my sister to buy us the Valentine's Day cards. And I think my sister picked like Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, I don't know. And I picked out Britney Spears Valentine's Day cards. Ooh, I loved Britney. I still do. I like Britney a lot. But back then, it was like I was so obsessed with her, like her videos and everything. And I told my mom, like, I really want these Britney Spears Valentine's Day cards. And she was like, of course, like, I'll buy them for you. My sister didn't say anything, nothing. So I was just like, oh my God, yes, I'm gonna get these Valentine's Day cards for my friends. And they're Britney Spears. I love Britney Spears. I never really thought anything of it, but I remember when I was distributing them, and then once everybody started to open them, and they saw that they were for me, I started to get these looks. I was like confused. I was like, well, they don't seem like excited, or they're looking at me differently, like not the way I expected. Like I don't know what I expected. I was a little, I guess we were just all like excited to open them, but it was different with mine. So I was like, okay, I didn't know what to think. And then I remember like the boys laughing and asking like, are these yours, Jose? And I'm like, yeah. And just laughing. That was the first time I was like, what did I do? Like, why is it so funny? Like, I don't get it. I was just like, it made me feel really uncomfortable. That was like my first, I guess when I was like super, super young in elementary school, really feeling like being made fun of. It didn't feel like I wasn't even laughing so that they could say like, we're laughing with you, you know what I mean? No, you know that feeling when like they're staring at you, when people stare at you and then they start laughing at you. I was just like, yo, what did I do? So I go home, I tell my mom like, they laughed at me. What did I do? Like, why is it weird? But of course, my mom wasn't gonna tell me anything. She was like déjalos, like leave them alone, like it's okay, like nothing happens. And I don't know, you know, it was a long time ago, but it was just, I love my mom, you know, she always made me feel good. We fast forward to middle school. I hated middle school. I got bullied in middle school. I think in middle school is when my gay look, I still don't get that. Knowing, like, now that I'm older, I don't understand the gay look when people say you look gay. But in middle school is where I got that. You look gay. Started being called names. I guess in middle school is where I started showing it more. I didn't know. I was just being myself. But I definitely felt it. I had friends. I don't want you to think that I was like all alone the whole time. Thankfully, I did have friends, but I didn't have that many. Most of them were girls. The few guy friends that I did have, I do thank them a lot because they were super cool with me. I mean, I think everybody has been bullied in one way or another in their life. But yeah, I was really heavily bullied in middle school. In middle school, I knew that part of me that I was like, something is different. I started to figure out, I know what this is. In middle school, I started to have crushes on boys. And I never told anybody. I never like even told my closest friends. I never told them like, yo, he's kind of cute, you know? Instead, I would try and go get girls. Like, I wanted to fit in. I wanted to stop the bullying. I wanted to prove the bullies that like, no, I'm not gay. Stop. Let me start flirting in my way. I don't know what it was. I was just probably trying to, I don't know what flirting was at that age, but I wanted a girlfriend. I wrote letters to girls and were like, hey, I like you, and like with these cheesy letters and like, no, Jose, I like you as a friend. And I was always like, like I would go home and I'd be like, I don't have a girlfriend, but like I need to have a girlfriend so that these guys could leave me alone, so that I can prove to them that I'm not gay. I'm not. I just wanted it to stop. Wanted the bullying to stop. And because of these bullies, I always thought that it was wrong to be that way, that it was a bad thing. And through my childhood, I never really talked to my parents about that. Like, I never really told my parents, like, what do you think about being gay? What I never did when I was a teenager. I never did. And I do regret that. Once I left middle school, high school was better for me. Freshman year wasn't the best, but it got better. In high school, I really liked that you could sit anywhere during lunch hours. You didn't have assigned seating. So I could sit with my friends and people that I liked. And yes, most of my friends were girls. I only had like maybe 3 guy friends in high school. They were really cool with me. And one of them, rest in peace, he was super, super cool with me. He didn't care that I was different. And because in high school, I think it was like even more, I expressed it even more without me knowing, again, guys, without me wanting to, but it was just, I guess it just came out of me or something, my mannerisms, the way I talked, because I never really had a girlfriend. And in high school, like everybody that I like knew was like paired up and booed up, and like even my best friend was dating somebody, and I was like, yo, like when am I gonna get a girlfriend? I want a girlfriend. So I graduated at 17 years old. Graduated, was happy to get over high school, went into college, studied some classes. Then we fast forward to, let's say, 22. And after I graduated high school to that age, like 22, I still lived my life normally. I had like 2 girlfriends. Those were like happy times for me because I was like, I can tell my family that like I have a girlfriend now, and like I can tell friends that I have a girlfriend, and I'll make people believe that I'm not gay. I'm not, and try and convince myself like, no, you're not. You have a girlfriend. You have a girlfriend. You're not gay, Jose. It's just thoughts that you had. You're not. Well, I remember one day we were at the grocery store, and I was with my mom and my sister, and then we bumped into this lady. I didn't know who it was at the moment, but once we bumped into them, found out that it's a friend of my mom's, and they start talking. Me and my sister step away because, you know, moms, they meet up with somebody, it goes on, so we step away. Finally, my mom gets done talking with her. We're like, who was she? Oh, remember so-and-so? And we're like, oh, yeah. And then she's like, well, she was talking about me, about her daughters. And one of them came out to her and has a girlfriend. And so I was really interested in knowing more. I was like, oh, okay. Well, what? Like, did she tell you more information? She's like, no, she just told me that, like, she has a girlfriend. And she came out to her. She talked to the family and everything. But the mom, the lady, was really sad about it. And she was telling my mom, like, I'm really sad. I think somebody did something to my daughter to make her that way. And in my head, I'm like, oh no, does my mom think that way? Because when my mom was telling me, she wasn't saying like, I told her that's not true. That doesn't, you know, nobody makes you that way. Like, my mom didn't tell me that she said that to her. So in my head, I'm like, I can never tell my parents because they probably think the same way, that they're going to think that somebody did this to me, or that this is a phase, or that I chose this and I'm sick, you know, all the negatives. So that was then. I think fast forward a year later, 23 years old, and I still haven't come out to my family, guys. I remember being in my parents' house. At this time, I already had moved out, had my own place. I remember visiting my parents, and then out of nowhere, just asking my parents, what do you guys think about gay marriage? And to my surprise, like, because I don't know why in my head I thought, like, my parents are not accepting. I don't know why I thought that. Because my parents have been the best parents ever. The best parents in the world. I don't know why I had this idea of, like, my parents don't accept it. They won't ever accept it. So I asked them, and my parents were like, well, you know, to each their own. Everybody lives their life. And if they're happy, they're happy. If they find love, they find love with whoever it is. And that gave me a little bit of hope. I don't know why I expected them to not be positive about it, to give me a really nice answer about it. I don't know why. I think it's just because, like, years passing and I'm thinking in my head, and those thoughts had already consumed me. Like, they had already told me, myself, and I had already told me, like, you're never going to do it because your parents are not going to accept you. And also because I had girlfriends in the past, they're going to be like, well, you've had girlfriends. Are you sure? Are you sure that, like maybe you're lying, or you're, like, lying to yourself, or I don't know. All these thoughts just came to my head. So that was at 23. So then fast forward to 24 years old, and I meet my current boyfriend. So we met at work, and I sat at my desk. I was already working there, by the way. He came in later, and it's funny because, like, I actually sat, like, at one end of the building, and then he sat at the other end. He had already been working there for, like, maybe I would say, like, 3 months until I actually, like, noticed him. I definitely saw him and I was like, he's cute. Like, I saw it, I was like, oh, he's cute. And that's it. And then I had the same break time as him one day. So I go to the break room and he's there. So I was like, let me just introduce myself. I mean, we're working in the same department. It's rude of me not to say hi. So I'm like, hey, I'm Jose. I've been working for so-and-so. He's like, hi, I'm Gabriel. And it was really quick. At that moment, I think we were like talking about like our schedules or something like that. And I was like, oh, I work just like basic stuff, like introductory information. I was like, oh, I work so and so. How about you? And like, oh, I work like, I think he was working weekends or something. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And he was like, like, oh, well, lucky you because I didn't have to work. And it was just like really quick, whatever. Fast forward to another break time. I guess the breaks times were like the best time to meet up. I was like, hey, and hey, how's it going? And then I was like, well, I mean, if you ever need help, just reach out. And he's like, okay, no problem. It was really quick. And then we had like the work messaging tool thing, and we started chatting that way. And then moving on, one day I invited him over. We didn't do nothing. We just watched TV and like talked about work. All right, have a nice day. I think he knew that I was interested, but in my head I was still like, no, because I'm not like out or anything. I can't have a relationship or anything. But I really, really like this guy. And time passed. We started hanging out even more. He was like, yo, I have a gym membership and I can add you to my plan. We can work out together. I was like, okay, I don't have a gym membership. I can go with you. And like, I think we both knew at that point, we're like, okay, we're really interested and talking more, hanging out more. And so we did that for a while. It got serious. We started actually going to places together. And then we went to a Lady Gaga concert. Yes, we went to a Lady Gaga concert, as any gay should. And that's where I asked him if he wanted to be my boyfriend. And he said yes. But this is funny because I think we were practically already, but I guess that day made it official. And so we became boyfriends that day. So at this point, it's like I said, that was 2014. So I'm 24 years old. And here comes June. And seeing all these posts about being proud and celebrating, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm 24 years old. If my parents don't want to know about me after this, I have my own place. I have my boyfriend. I'm gonna tell them. I have my friends. By the way, I actually came out to my friends first. My friends already knew. And I told them separately, hanging out with them and stuff like that. I was like, yo, I'm gay. Two of my bestest friends that were I already knew. And then I've told them I actually have a boyfriend. And they were so happy for me. They met him and everything. So this was before. They already knew. My friends already knew. I was like, the people that matter to me most don't. And I should tell them. And I want to tell them. I just got up from my couch. I texted my parents. I think it was my dad, actually, just my dad. I texted my dad. I was like, I'm going to the house. I want to talk to you guys. I just left it like that. They were like, okay, hijo, ven. Which is, okay, son, come. So I got there. I said hi. My sister was there. So I was like, ooh, that's perfect. I can tell all of them. My sister, my mom, and my dad. So I got there, it was normal, like, hey, how y'all doing? Like, ¿cómo están? Bien, bien. ¿Cómo te ha ido? Good, everything good. So then I tell my dad, I was like, I want to talk to you guys. And he's like, okay. And I was like, but like, serious talk, like with all of you. Can you please come to the living room? So my dad tells my mom and my sister, like, Junior quiere hablar con nosotros. I'm a junior. And so basically he's like, Junior wants to talk to us. Like, let's go sit down. So then we sit down. And you guys, I couldn't say it. I sat down on one couch with my dad, my mom and my sister on another. I sit down and I freeze. And once I snap out of that moment, I start crying. My mom, my dad, my sisters are like, what's going on? And I'm crying. What's going on? What happened? Are you okay? I can't even talk. Like, I'm crying. My sister is very emotional. Like, she cry if she's sad, she cries right away. So she started to cry because she saw me crying. And I started speaking. I don't know. It felt for me for forever. I don't know exactly how much time passed that I wasn't talking. I was just sitting there and I was crying, looking at my parents and my sister. And I guess in my head I was just thinking, like, I'm really gonna do this. Like, it's now or never. I can't just make up something and like say that I want to talk about something else. No. So I'm just like, I really want to tell you something, guys, that I've been holding for 24 years. Oh, I didn't know I was gonna get emotional, guys. I would just hold on. Ooh. Okay. So I start telling them, I want to tell you guys something. It's really important to me. And because you are the most important people in my life, I want you to know. And so I did. I tell them I'm gay. Soy gay. I keep crying because I'm like, what are they gonna say? My dad starts like massaging my back. Like he doesn't say it, but I know he's telling me like it's okay. My mom is fine. My sister's still crying, but she was already crying because she saw me crying. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, I'm like, I don't want you guys to think that something is wrong with me. I don't want you guys to think that this is a choice. I don't want you guys to think that this is a phase that I'm going through. I know I was born this way. Since I already told them, my parents started talking to my sister. My sister's crying, but my parents started telling me, like, it's okay. It's okay. My dad tells me, I kind of knew when you asked us that one time. And I was like, he remembers. I kind of knew when you asked us what we thought about gay marriage. He was like, the reason why is because he's just like, this is the first time that you ever like really asked us seriously about it. And you were passionate about it, because when they talked about it, I was also passionate. I was like, yes, it's like not a choice. If they love each other, they should be able to marry each other. And so he's like, it kind of gave me a sign of something. And then my sister was like, you had been telling me about a friend of yours named Gabriel. Is that your boyfriend? And then I told them, yes, like I have a boyfriend. My mom was like, it's okay. And I love what she said this when she said, I never thought you were different. I just saw you as my son. Ooh, sorry guys, I didn't think I was getting emotional. Because it's true. Like throughout my whole life, my mom never made me once feel like I was different. So she told me, like, you were just my son. I love you the way you are. And if that guy, if your boyfriend loves you, I love him. So you already know I'm losing it. My sister jumps in and she's like, I want you to know that I'm proud to be your sister, and I'm even more proud to say it now. My brother, you're my brother, and you're gay, and I love you just the way you are. My dad hugs me and he tells me, I love you the way you are. And the only thing that my dad does to me is like, what hurts me is that you waited this long to tell us, because I can just imagine what you've gone through your whole life, thinking that nobody's gonna accept you, holding it out, and where you can't be 100% yourself. So I was like, no guys, no. Don't worry about that. All I needed was this. All I needed was you guys to tell me that it's okay and that you still love me and that I'm still part of this family. And my mom was like, claro que sí. Like, tú eres mi hijo, nunca vas a dejar de serlo. And my dad is... Oh, guys, I'm sorry. Hold on. But it was amazing. I got it off my chest. I told them everything. Like, I told them I had been dating this guy. He's my boyfriend. And again, it's just a thing that I have, repeating myself and like repeating them, like, please don't think this, please don't think that it's a choice, please don't think that it's a phase, please don't think that something happened to me where I became gay one day from one day to another. Nothing like that's happened to me. And they were so loving. They were like, we know. And they kept telling me, like, why didn't you tell us? You know us, you know we weren't gonna shut the door on you, you know we weren't gonna stop talking to you, you know we would accept you just the way. In my head, I'm like, in that moment, in my head, I'm like, I know you would. I don't know why. In my head, I'm just like, it's all these thoughts that were stopping me. They were stopping me. But also, I told myself my parents love me regardless, but it was just this struggle that I had. And I know a lot of you guys can relate to that out there. But I just, like I tell you, like when my mom said that, it was everything to me. I think that's gotta be one of the best days of my life, when I actually came out to my family. And when I tell you, when that weight came off my shoulders, I literally felt free. I was like, the people who matter don't mind. And I don't care people who mind now. All I care is about my family. I don't care if anybody else doesn't accept me. My family does, and those are the people that matter. So I felt freedom at that very moment. And so that is how I did it. At 24 years old, the advice that I would give is that you do it when you want to. There is no correct way to do it. There is no incorrect way to do it. whatever way you want to do it. And whenever you want to do it, whatever age you decide to do it, go ahead. You'll feel free. But I do want to say though, don't ever feel pressured though. Please don't make this video of mine make you feel like I don't want to pressure you to do it. I don't want you to think, oh, it's Pride Month, I have to do it in Pride Month. No, because it's whenever you're ready and if you want to do it. I hope one day we don't have to though. I hope one day that coming out isn't a thing. I think that's the ultimate goal, where it can just be normal, like with straight people, where they just live their lives and they don't have to be telling people, oh, I'm gay, I'm a lesbian, I'm transgender. It's just being humans. That's the ultimate goal. But like I said, do it when you're ready. And I guess my other advice is, for some reason, like you know for a fact, like you know in your heart that your family's not going to be accepting, but you want to do it regardless. I think my advice would be, make sure that you have a supportive system, whether it be friends or another support group, just so that if that happens, you have somebody to go to, you have somebody to talk to. And I will leave links in the description box, so if you ever want to reach out to somebody and talk to somebody. Sorry I got emotional, guys. I did not know it was, but yeah, that's essentially how it happened. And thank you so much, Finest Joan at Finest Joan 97 for the question. And if you guys want to give me questions for my Q&A videos, go ahead and tweet at me with hashtag JAYQ, or leave your question in the comment section below. Thank you so much, guys. Be proud of who you are. And thank you, guys. Love you. Thank you for the support. And until next time, adios.